Hello, good morning, students. I welcome all of you for this lecture of chemistry in 11th standard. From the chemistry section 2, we will study today hydrocarbons. The definition of hydrocarbon is organic compound containing carbon and hydrogen atoms are called hydrocarbons. This is very simple definition for hydrocarbons. So it is given in our textbook as the compounds which contain carbon and hydrogen as only the elements are called hydrocarbons. These hydrocarbons can be open chain type or cyclic, that is also called as a closed chain. Hydrocarbons are mainly of two types, that is open chain and closed chain. Again, on the basis of presence or absence of carbon-carbon multiple bond. This multiple bond means either double bond or carbon-carbon triple bond. So depending upon this presence of or the absence of multiple bond in hydrocarbon, these hydrocarbons are further classified into saturated hydrocarbon and unsaturated hydrocarbon. Saturated hydrocarbon contains carbon-carbon single bond in their molecules, but unsaturated hydrocarbon contain either carbon-carbon double bond or carbon-carbon triple bond in their molecules. These cyclic compounds may be of aromatic type or non-aromatic type. So this classification of hydrocarbons we will study in detail. It is given in the figure 15.1. So this is a chart for classification of hydrocarbon. In this, first hydrocarbons are divided into two types. One is open chain hydrocarbon. They are also called as aliphatic hydrocarbon. So what is aliphatic hydrocarbon? The hydrocarbon which have a structure of open carbon chain, that is called as aliphatic hydrocarbons. Other type is cyclic hydrocarbons. They contain a closed ring or the closed chain of carbon atoms, that is called as a cyclic or closed chain type of hydrocarbon. We will study now in detail how this open chain or aliphatic hydrocarbons are further classified. These open chain hydrocarbons are classified into two types, that is saturated hydrocarbon and unsaturated hydrocarbon. Saturated hydrocarbon contains carbon-carbon single bond in their molecules. On the basis of nature of carbon chain, these saturated hydrocarbons means alkane. They are of two types, that is straight chain and other is a branched chain. So straight chain hydrocarbon or the straight chain alkane contain carbon 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 along straight chain, and in branched chain hydrocarbon there is a straight chain of carbon, and at the middle carbon there is a one or more branches or the side chain of carbon atoms are present, called as a branched chain saturated hydrocarbon. Similarly, this unsaturated hydrocarbon, that is alkene and alkyne, they are of two types again, that is saturated, sorry, it is straight chain and branched chain. This straight chain unsaturated hydrocarbon contain again a carbon-carbon straight chain, and in branched chain this carbon-carbon straight chain plus additional on the middle carbon there is a side chain of carbon or the branch of carbon is present along with double bond or triple bond. So that is about open chain hydrocarbons. We had already studied this. Open chain hydrocarbons are two types, that is saturated and unsaturated, and they are further classified into straight chain and branched chain. Now, cyclic hydrocarbon. This cyclic hydrocarbon means they contain a closed chain of carbon atoms. These cyclic hydrocarbons are further classified into two types, that is saturated and unsaturated. Here, the cyclic saturated hydrocarbons are also called as alicyclic hydrocarbons. Here, the example of alicyclic hydrocarbon is a three-membered cyclic ring with single bonds, that is called as a cyclopropane. If it is a four-membered cyclic ring containing single bond, then it is a cyclobutane. We will study all these examples in detail in the next section. Then cyclic compounds second type is a unsaturated type. We had already studied what is meaning of unsaturated. Unsaturated meaning compound containing either carbon-carbon double bond or carbon-carbon triple bond. That is called as a unsaturated. These cyclic compounds are unsaturated because they contain carbon-carbon double or carbon-carbon triple bond. They are of two types. One is aromatic and other is a non-aromatic. Aromatic cyclic compound contain a closed chain of carbon atom with single and double bond in alternate position. That is called as a aromatic cyclic compound. A very good example of aromatic cyclic compound is it is a benzene. We know benzene is six-membered closed chain of carbon atoms with single and double bonds in their molecules, that is in alternate position. Then unsaturated hydrocarbon, this cyclic, these are non-aromatic which do not contain this carbon-carbon double and single bond in alternate position, that is called as a non-aromatic. So in short, this hydrocarbons are of two types, that is open chain, closed chain, that is cyclic. They are further classified into saturated and unsaturated. This open chain are straight and branch chain, and closed chain are aromatic and non-aromatic. So that is about the classification, definition and classification of hydrocarbons. Thank you.